Hey guys, so I ended the year with this kind of like year end video with YouTube, and I know I haven't been back since then. And it's just the holidays hit, and then the New Year's, and then some travel stuff, and then the LA fires hit, which is just so tragic. And my heart goes out to everybody that's been impacted by that. And yeah, so I didn't really know where to begin, honestly. And what brings me back but AI in film? It's always got to be AI in film because you know what? Screw it. It's here. It's happening. And it's happening way faster than I thought it would happen, honestly. And it's so funny because here we are. I felt like 2024 was a year in which, and 2023 a little bit, where I was just like arguing with people about whether or not AI is going to get better, whether or not it's going to happen, whether or not Hollywood's going to embrace it, whether or not the world is going to, and whether or not the audience is going to care, and all of that. And here we are. 2025 is off to a roaring start. And there are two particular films this year that are really worth talking about that are front and center in AI. And in my opinion, are only going to, push that, roll that ball down the mountain even further, honestly. So, two films. Okay. Here we go. We got The Brutalist, which is currently, top listed, I think top 5 in the Oscar Best Picture, voting categories. That's what I'm seeing online these days. And, Adrian Brody, obviously, very big winning actor out there, big winning, whatever that means. But anyway, so this is out. And of course, there's also Here, right? Which is that Tom Hanks film, which is actually using AI. So let's jump into Here first, because one, I know somebody who invested in the AI technology that went to this film. Is one of my closest friends. And so this is actually really interesting. This is called Metaphysic, which actually uses AI to change and swap somebody's face. Now, they did get famous last few years ago. Let me see if I can pull it up, where they did use the Elvis. They used their technology to essentially simulate Elvis Presley at the one of those award shows. I forget what it's called. Oh yeah, so this is it right here. So they simulated. So there's a guy. There's actually an actor here. You can't really see him. They kind of blacked him out, and they had some dancers here, and they simulated. Boom. Elvis live. So this technology is so impressive that it can face swap live, which is actually technology right now that is not available. Look at Simon Cowell. So look at that. That's on screen right now. That's not the actual actor, but it can simulate it very, very accurate. Look at those lips. Just amazing lips. So that's the technology here. And of course they're singing. I just don't have the audio for you right now, but you can see how impressive that is for them to pull that off. And of course, the judges were very impressed by the technology. And this is, they even simulated Heidi Klum and I forget her name, famous person, of course. But yeah, anyway, so Metaphysic, this is, a few years ago during the pandemic. And then fast forward to this year, they are using this technology in a film with Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks, and Robin Wright. These are the cast of Forrest Gump, right? This is a big deal. Now, I think the film didn't do that well as far as I can understand, so womp womp. But look at this. So Zemeckis even says here, you couldn't have made this movie 3 years ago, right? So of course they're saying this is not the first time that they've been using de-aging, using AI. So in 2023 they used it on Harrison Ford, etc. But in this case, Metaphysics using it is maybe one of the kind of largest films to be using it, and maybe one of the most cutting edge technologies. So I'm curious to watch this film. I haven't seen it yet, so who knows how good it actually is. But I have heard that it's not as good as people thought. But Zemeckis, legendary. More importantly, this film, The Brutalist, which is, shortlisted for Oscars, etc. There's a whole paragraph here in the interviews from Red Shark where they go into AI. So here it is, all the way down here. Subtle and sensitive use of AI. Much of the film's dialogue is in Hungarian. The filmmakers went to great lengths to make it as accurate to a native speaker as possible. This included judicious use of AI from the Ukrainian specialist Respeecher. Boom. There you go. So they're already using AI for language. I am a native Hungarian speaker, and I know that it is one of the most difficult languages to learn to pronounce, even with Adrian's Hungarian background, blah, blah, blah. It's not that simple. It's an extremely unique language, blah, blah, blah. They did a fabulous job, but we also wanted to perfect it so that not even locals will spot any difference. Tweaks were needed to enhance specific letters of their vocal sounds, every coming, blah, 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 blah. We first tried to ADR these harder elements with the actors. I have no idea what ADR means. Apologies. Then we tried to ADR them completely with other actors, but that just didn't work, so we looked for other options how to enhance it. So maybe that's like a process, non-AI process. And here they got Respeecher. Brody and Jones were fully onboarded with the process, guided by Respeecher, which started with their recording their voices to drive the AI Hungarian delivery. Jenks also fed his voice into the AI model to finesse the tricky dialect. Boom. That is huge. Most of their Hungarian dialogue has a part of me talking in there. We were very careful about keeping their performances. It's mainly just replacing letters here and there. You can do this in Pro Tools yourself, but we had so much dialogue in Hungarian that we really need to speed up the process. Otherwise, would still be in post. Boom, speeding it up. Is Hollywood going to churn out movies faster because of AI? And is that going to save more money? Are we going to see more stories because AI is going to speed that up? Huge. Gen AI is also used right at the end of the film in a sequence at the Venice Biennale to conjure a series of architectural drawings and finished buildings in the style of the fictional architects. So they literally generated buildings. The overall effect is so impressive you might find yourself headed to Wikipedia to double check the Laszlo Toth existed. It is controversial in the industry to talk about AI, but it shouldn't be, he acknowledges. We should be having a very open discussions about what tools AI can provide us with. There's nothing in the film using AI that hasn't been done before. It just makes the process a lot faster. We use AI to create these tiny little details that we didn't have the money or time to shoot. I can't wait to see this film and see how AI is used in it, because clearly they are, trying to make it, very subtle. But you guys, we are fucking here. Okay, like huge films. Zemeckis, you got this film here with Adrian Brody. You got James Cameron on Stability AI, Lionsgate signing a deal with Runway. If Brutalist wins an Oscar, we can say that within a year there is a film that literally used visual Gen AI, to be in an Oscar-winning film, which would be nuts. And at this point, I just don't get what the anti-AI crowd is thinking when, yes, there are legitimate concerns about copyright and displacement of jobs, et cetera, but people are using it. So the argument that it's not useful is done. Okay, it is clearly useful at almost every layer, getting to read scripts, generate scripts, to help a person, edit a script, to, even just in the very beginning of the process, down to the previs, creating storyboards, creating actual short films and trailers, creating B-roll, creating, in this case, architecture, changing the language, the dialect, using the voice of a person, like de-aging, every potential layer of this, all the way down into the post, right? So from pre to post, we are seeing AI disrupt every single category. And I think people who are anti are going to run up against this dilemma that, hey, look, you can tell more stories. At some point, they might realize that, hey, if you're a writer right now that is resisting the usage of AI, you could be creating your films right now with AI. And your resistance is preventing you from doing that. And so, of course, this is my crusade. This is the first video of the year, really, that I'm just putting out there. And I feel like this, I'm putting my stake in the ground, right? That this is the beginning of a lot more. And it's happening way faster than we ever thought it would. And clearly, very serious professional creative artists are using AI. It's not just like casual people who are trying to use AI to like leapfrog other artists. This is serious people using AI. So hit me with your comments. I'm very curious what people think. I'm here to get into the debate, into the dialogue, because I think it's amorphous. It's changing. I'm open to seeing how it all changes, but here we go. Let's get into it.